Okay. Good evening and welcome along. Premier League Darts live on talkSPORT 2. We'll be with you each and every week, all the way through until finals night, live from the O2 at the end of May. I'm Matt Wilson alongside PD stars Paul Nicholson and Laura Turner. And tonight we're live on both talkSPORT 2 and on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page. Please remember to like and subscribe over there. All the action to come from the West Country tonight then, as Exeter host week 4 of the Premier League. We'll bring you all 7 ties live right here. Who will pick up the 10,000 weekly winners prize, but more importantly, who will get the valuable 5 Premier League points on offer tonight. Mark Wilson with you, and up for the first game, Paul Nicholson. Nico, are you well? I think we've got a technical problem there, Nico. I don't think we can hear, which is a bit of a problem. It might make my night a longer night. We will find out about that. Do you want to try speaking to us now, Paul?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, there we go. Not sure what happened there. Blame me. It's always I've always pressed something I shouldn't have pressed. I'll ask you again. How are you?
I'm very well. Really excited for tonight because the season is taking a bit of shape now. We are seeing some people in form, and some people really have put up and made some of the critics shut up. And nobody's done that more than Gerwyn Price, who won in Dublin last week and has got a great deal of positivity in his armoury right now.
Yeah, picked up the winner's prize last week. I know, obviously, it's the UK Open coming up this week, so it is a really big weekend in the darts calendar, one of the major tournaments. So I think you've got a sneaking suspicion that Gerwyn's going to have a big weekend, don't you?
Yeah, I think he will. I think of the starts that he's had in seasons over the last few years, this is one of the best ones. And considering what happened at the end of last season, I think he should be very, very happy with the way things have gone in the first few weeks of this campaign. 7 points, very, very good, and he will look to put people in more pain over the next couple of weeks, that's for sure.
He will. Let's have a look at what we've got coming up then. Michael van Gerwen, he takes on Rob Cross, who's not been in great form of late. Gerwyn Price, last week's winner, takes on Luke Humphries. 2 of the top 4 going at it in the quarterfinals. Chris Dobey, another one who could do with a win, takes on Nathan Aspinall, who had a good bounce back last week, wins over Cross, and Michael van Gerwen saw him through to the final. And Stephen Bunting, yet to win a game, takes on Luke Littler. Probably not the opponent you want, Nico, when you're looking for your first win of the tournament.
Not at all. The thing is, the trapdoor was always going to open up for someone at this stage of the Premier League season. It was just a question of who it would be. We very rarely see a situation where everybody's on an even footing after 3 weeks. It just so happens that after last week, when Nathan Aspinall picked up 3 points making the final in Dublin, it means that Bunting is the one on the chopping block in Exeter, and if he doesn't get off to a start tonight, then that trapdoor will widen even more.
It will. You are listening to Premier League Darts live on talkSPORT 2 in partnership with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play. Visit villagehotels.com. Mark Wilson, Paul Nicholson and Laura Turner with you tonight. Michael van Gerwen against Rob Cross is our first game tonight. Mentioned at the start, Rob Cross, Stephen Bunting, Chris Dobey, they've lost their last 3 games, haven't they? That's some poor run for them.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that those kind of runs are minimised. Now, the person who epitomises this the most is Michael van Gerwen, funnily enough, because his consistency over the last 3 weeks has been win his first game, lose his second. And we all believe that if you were to do that season-wide, that would be enough to get you into the playoffs. I suppose in one sort of way, if you don't win a night throughout the first 16 weeks, but you're still in the playoffs, you've still accomplished the mission, because you want to be there with a chance of getting the £250,000 at the end. But you've got to make sure that these streaks of losses don't get into 3, 4, 5, because then it starts breaking into the middle of the season and you're on a bad run.
Yeah, a weekly win, or even like you said, making it to the final can soon turn things around. And as you said, you don't want to get cut adrift, and you don't want those at the top getting too far away.
Not at all, because you look at the top 4 now. You've got Luke Littler on 5 points. He's 2 points ahead of Nathan Aspinall in 5th position. So if you're in a chasing position in the bottom 4, you want to make sure that you're within the amount of points that you would get for winning a night. You want to be able to affect it on the same day that you're looking at that table. So if you're someone like Rob Cross on 2 points, if you win tonight, you're in the top 4. And then you can try and maintain that position. You have a little bad run, you can still recover if you're in striking distance.
Yeah, you can indeed. All 4 quarter-finals and semi-finals and final live right here tonight on talkSPORT 2. Time now then to get an odds update with William Hill. Okay. Good evening to Lee Phelps. Lee, are you well? Very good. What's your nap? Come on, give me your nap of the night, Lee. Brilliant stuff. Thanks as ever, Lee. That was an odds update with William Hill, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. So those were the odds then ahead of tonight's action. Michael van Gerwen against Rob Cross, Gerwyn Price against Luke Humphries, Chris Dobey against Nathan Aspinall, and Stephen Bunting against Luke Littler are 4 quarter-final ties tonight. The action coming thick and fast, Nico, isn't it? It's relentless, isn't it, this Premier League? I know there's the UK Open to come this weekend and the European Tour starting as well next week. I mean, it's all happening, but when you're on this treadmill of the Premier League, it's tough going, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think everybody who's on this roadshow, they've just got to make peace with how difficult it's going to be over the next 3 or 4 months. And you want to be there in London at the end of May. If you're not, it's gone wrong. It's as simple as that, because these players, when they're selected or they find themselves in the top 4, what they will say is, I'm going to be playing the best players in the world constantly, every single week for the next few months. And if I don't stay on it, I'll be left behind. It's as simple as that. So you've got to make peace with what is probably the hardest thing to do in darts. And this is what Michael van Gerwen talks about all the time. He says the Premier League is the hardest thing to win in this sport. He's absolutely right, because of the slog of the 4 months going from Aberdeen to Rotterdam and Berlin and Birmingham, everything in between, and then amassing enough points and then having enough freshness to be ready for the playoffs in London as well. It's a skill, and it's a skill that MVG has used very well.
Yeah, it is a multiple winner of this event. If you are watching on the talkSPORT Dart YouTube page, welcome along. You see Nico in his resplendent yellow. I'm very impressed with that, my friend. I'm feeling a little bit underdressed, if I'm honest, but we're going about, I know we talk a lot, and I speak to Mace a lot about this, and Laura, just about the workload of these players. It is an incessant amount of games that they've got to play. You mentioned Michael van Gerwen. Obviously, Luke Littler won this tournament last year, but how important do you feel it is, just that mindset and that ability to handle your workload? And I guess the next question following from that, do you expect the likes of Dobey and Bunting maybe at times just to dip out the odd event on the way this year?
Unquestionably. Chris Dobey, who won a Players' Championship event in Rosmarlin recently under tough circumstances because it was apparently very cold, but getting that win and getting to the final of one of the first Players' Championships of the season in Wigan, it has given him a little bit of freedom, and he's already said to one of our colleagues in the sport that he's going to miss the German-based Players' Championships in the middle of March. It's got nothing to do with the fact that Newcastle are at Wembley.
Yeah, he outed himself live on talkSPORT with that one. Don't kid anyone. He told us why he's not going.
But it's a good thing, though, isn't it? It's a way of getting away from darts for a couple of days, focusing on something else, and by the time that game is over, whatever the result, he'll be ready to go again afterwards. Michael van Gerwen has been a master over the last few years of ducking in and out of events. And the best example of this subject is Phil Taylor. When he was at his height, he didn't play anywhere near the amount of events that some of these guys do. If there were 34 Players' Championships and 14 European Tour events in, say, 2010, when Taylor was at his perceived best, he would have played maybe 4 European Tours, maybe 10 Players' Championship events, and he would have been fresh and ready for everything, like the match play, the Worlds, the Grand Prix and the Premier League. That's what these guys have got to learn. You don't play everything, you play what you need to do.
And on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page, you've been quite critical of the crowd, the one that we had up in Scotland recently, up in Glasgow, where they were disrespectful. There's no other word for it to the players. Hopefully none of that tonight.
I would expect not. Exeter's a very respectful venue. They only get one tournament a year in that city. This is it. This is their Graceland for darts. A lot of them might be making their way to Minehead after this to go to the UK Open. I wouldn't blame them, it's not too far, and that's a fantastic festival. But as far as the Premier League is concerned, Exeter is pretty much a mainstay since 2009. It's only missed 1 year, which was 2018. But it's got some great players here tonight. Why would you not want to cheer 170 finishes, 9 darters hopefully? We've seen some historic stuff in Exeter over the years as well. Luke Humphries was the first person to win as a contender here when they used to have that format. But I expect brilliance tonight, and I just wonder if someone's going to get close to the venue record as well of 119.5 set by Peter Wright in 2017.
Wow, that would be some effort, wasn't it? We saw Luke Littler, what was it, 113 in week 1. He lost in his opening round match to Michael van Gerwen, so we've seen some big numbers already posted in this event this year. Don't forget, across on talkSPORT, West Ham against Leicester. It's the 10th of the Premier League midweek games. You've heard them all live across the talkSPORT network. You can join Hugh Wozencroft, Sam Matterface and the former West Ham and Chelsea defender Scott Minto. Commentary of that one kicks off at 8 tonight. West Ham against Leicester. Then tomorrow night, well, it's the FA Cup. We've got 7 FA Cup ties live on the talkSPORT network as Villa take on Cardiff live on talkSPORT tomorrow. And there's a small matter in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday taking on Sunderland with Joe Shannon and the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark. That's a double-header of live football tomorrow on the talkSPORT network. It's darts all the way here through to the conclusion at the West Point Arena in Exeter tonight. We'll have a chat about our first game then, Nico. Michael van Gerwen. He's made the semi-final every week but not yet got to a final. He's accumulating points though. He takes on Rob Cross, who we've already mentioned is 3 without a win.
Yeah, I think Michael's not going to panic. He's going to think, do you know what? I've got 6 points after 3 weeks. I'm in 3rd position. That's not bad. But 12 months ago, Laura Turner and I were talking about this earlier tonight. It was this point last year where Michael just went a little bit crazy. He won 3 times on the spin and he wouldn't win again after that. But he was brilliant at amassing points at a really critical part of the season. He was never really looking down. He was always looking up. And as far as his position is right now, he is looking up a little bit. He'd like to be more comfortable, but I think everything is stacked against Rob Cross right now coming into this first game of the night.
John McDonald on the stage then to introduce the players for our opening game.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of 2 European Championships, a 5-time World Series champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the World Match Play, He is a former Premier League runner-up, and ladies and gentlemen, champion of the world, Bunting, Rob.
Packed to the rafters at the West Point Arena in Exeter as Rob Cross in his blue and black dart shirt makes his way up onto the stage here. He's all smiles, winner of the Dutch Darts Masters earlier in the year. Feel a long way away at the moment. 3 games without a win after he beat Bunting in week 1. He's lost since to Dobey, Littler and Aspinall last week. 3 from 22 on the doubles. It is a problem he has been having, and it's one he will have to rectify here tonight.
Absolutely right, but he is one of 6 players in the Premier League who have already won this season on the PDC Tour. Michael van Gerwen hasn't.
PDC titles worldwide, a 7-time Premier League champion, and a 3-time champion of the world.
I always think whenever you hear the opening chords to this song, it just sends the hairs on the back of my neck on end, because it means that Michael van Gerwen is about to enter the fray. And whilst he's not quite at his brilliant best at the moment, you know it's in there somewhere and it could come out at any time. And he's a player to me. I think he's just ticking along nicely. I think he's ready for a big win, and a big win soon.
I agree. I think it's just a question of where it is, and maybe the fact that in this format, which is in its 4th year now, where we have quarterfinals, semi-finals and then a winner after the final game of the night, of the 3 that we've seen here in Exeter, van Gerwen has won 2 of them. He won in 2022, beating Peter Wright by 6 legs to 0 in that final, 6-3 against Clayton the following year, and last year Nathan Aspinall was the winner, beating Rob Cross in the final. So they both know how to make it to the final game for the £10,000 prize of the night and the 5 points. But this is a really interesting section, because Gerwyn Price and Luke Humphries are in this section tonight as well, and it is, without a shadow of a doubt, the stronger of the 2.
Yeah, as Paul said, Van Gerwen, Cross, and then Price, Humphries in the top half of the draw. The bottom half, Chris Dobey against Nathan Aspinall and Stephen Bunting against Luke Littler. 7-time former Premier League champion Michael van Gerwen. We mentioned having that experience. Van Gerwen's won it. Obviously, Luke Littler's the defending champion. We've seen Rob Cross, Gerwyn Price, Luke Humphries and Nathan Aspinall all losing the final. So 6 of these have gone the distance, if you like, but only 2 of them know what it's like to lift the title at the end of it.
I think it's really important that you do get to a final quite soon. That jump from 2 points from winning your first game to just getting the 1 point in the semi-final. There's a lot of documentation out there from various people within the sport saying, is that right, is it wrong? I think getting that extra point could be the settler towards the end of the season. Someone like Nathan Aspinall getting 3 points last week after getting nothing in the first couple of weeks, he'll be thinking it didn't feel like 3 points, it felt more like 13.
Race to 6 legs to win the quarter-final. Michael van Gerwen with a throw, only 42 for him, and Rob Cross has beaten that in dart 1. And a nice 140 to open up. I've got to ask you, Nico, a word on the surround of the board. What's happened there?
Are you referring to the surround being a nice shade of beige?
Well, I had a little bit of a DIY accident. I've got a big plaster on my thumb at the minute, and it looks a bit like that, I think.
Yeah, I think they tend to use the surrounds in Premier League darts that are based on the branding of the title sponsor. It is a little bit retro, but I'm kind of liking it.
No, not for me. rather have your bright yellow number up there. That'd look a bit better, I think. Crosses down to 2-2-1. Van Gerwen on his own throw on 3-5-6, and he's already blowing on his fingers, Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, the West Point Arena in Exeter is very famous for being a venue that holds livestock auctions. It's probably the least insulated of any venue. If you can't play a little chilly, this is not the venue for you. And Rob Cross on 50 after a 1-7-1. He's going to look at double 16, of course. The single 18 is right in the middle. Eyes fixed on 32, and this has been a problem for him. And he's hit double 7 with his third dart, leaving 18 points. Van Gerwen back on 2-1-6. May think this leg is not over yet.
Well, I'd be disappointed he's not on a finish, but he's not exactly making heavy inroads into the 2-1-6. Last start, treble 19 gets him down to 120, so 18 then for Cross. Is he going to split this? He is. It's 10 for double 4. 2 darts at it. Oh, that's a mile away inside. Double 2 he needs. Well, he'll be a relieved man. Fourth dart at a double is a good one. We mentioned last week 3 from 22. He has had patches, hasn't he, including in Bahrain earlier in the year. Just can't hit a double to save his life.
Yeah, I think he's been wrestling with the way his darts sit in the board. He wants them to land straight, but they tend to kink a little bit right. And he's tried different weightings of barrel and different points over the last couple of seasons. It may be a work in progress to try and find out what really suits him. But winning that first leg, huge sigh of relief, because if he lost that first leg, his confidence would have been shattered already.
It would have been, but he opened up with 57 and Van Gerwen steps in with 140, so he might be in line for a quick break back here. Crowd in great voice, as you'd expect. The Premier League sold out wherever it goes these days. And as Paul said earlier, it'll be going around Europe, into Germany and the Netherlands as well.
First event in England from this Premier League as well. They've been to Scotland, they've been to Northern Ireland, they've been to Republic of Ireland last week, which was very loud. But England gets most of these nights, and a lot was made, of course, with Gerwyn Price only getting Cardiff once a season. Well, Van Gerwen only gets Rotterdam. It's the same for some of these players. The English actually get more venues than anybody else.
Do you think, obviously, the success of the European Tour that seems to be growing and growing, we've got another event on that this year, as Van Gerwen looks at 1-3-4, see if he can take this out. Well, it's on. It doesn't need to go, but it might well go. Double 16 is missed, but he'll be back. Van Gerwen with Cross on 206.
Yeah, Van Gerwen is already looking pumped up, and he's still blowing his fingers, just trying to keep his extremities at a favourable warmth. 206 for Cross, shrinks down to 148. Van Gerwen on double 16, takes it right at the bottom, near the double 7 that was hit by Cross in the first leg, going for that very target, and the break back for Michael is immediate. Yeah, it's 1-1.
It is, sorry Paul. The point I was going to make, the European Tour's been a great success. That goes a little bit further afield. Do you think that the Premier League eventually might reach some of the outposts like the Czech Republic? I'm thinking maybe more Poland, where they had great success with the World Series event.
Yeah, I agree that the Premier League will have to evolve. Certain venues are going to have to be shelved if it's expanded. That in itself is a very long discussion. But now they're starting to take flight. 180 start from Cross. And the answer from Van Gerwen is a 140 to lead 265. Cross with a 9 next to his name. 3 perfect darts. And that's as good as it gets.
Now it's about trying to get that break of throw. 95 scored. So Van Gerwen on throw from 265 is down in the 19s. Magnificent 171 visit. He's down to 94.
Tremendous like this. In the background, behind Rob Cross, Van Gerwen is geeing himself up silently. He wants this tonight. He wants to make a statement before the UK Open starts tomorrow morning. He doesn't have to play until tomorrow night though. 54 for tops for a 94 checkout. Third dart misses low on the top shot. Will he return for double 10? It's a question mark, because Rob is on 167.
Treble 19 hit. Now going back up the board here. He's got it. The shot is on. Bullseye for a roof-raising 167. Well, that was a wild dart. We gave him the big build-up, and he's missed it by a mile.
Double 10 for Michael Van Gerwen then. right in the heart. I'd like to tell you what he was saying when he hit that double 10, but my Dutch is abysmal. It was something along the lines of, "Come on, Mikey."
2-1 then. Van Gerwen leads. Reminder that live football from the Premier League, the 10th of our exclusive Premier League commentaries this weekend. This is West Ham against Leicester. 8 o'clock start on talkSPORT. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right between the two. If you're watching along on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page, please like and subscribe, share it amongst your friends and get involved in the comments. 2-1 Van Gerwen leads. Winner of this one, Gerwyn Price or Luke Humphries. It almost seems wrong that that's a quarter-final tie.
It's fabulous, isn't it? Let the players worry about that. We'll just sit back and enjoy it. Van Gerwen is pumped up tonight. He's on 323 after 6. Rob on 310, which is a good number because 140 will get him to a finish. He should get there really with 80 in the first two here. And the 140 requisite leaves him on that 170, which has been hit every week of the Premier League so far.
Yeah, we have been spoilt here on the talkSPORT network with you every week all the way through until the finals at the O2 in the end of May. 170 left, but not taken. He's going to leave it pretty handy though. Treble 18. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful from cross to leave double 18.
Yeah, this is a good game. And this fixture, of course, back in the 2018 World Championship is the best game ever heard on talkSPORT 2. Incredible game it was. It was 6 sets to 5 to cross. In this game, it's 2 legs all because Rob has just found a 13 darter on double 18. And we are as you were at the start, but it's now best of 7 legs from here to see who goes through to the semis.
Almost the perfect start to the leg for Van Gerwen, but a 140 on your own throw is pretty decent. You'll be getting excited this weekend. Not only have you got the UK Open, you've got Newcastle taking on Brighton. You'll hear that live on Sunday lunchtime, 1:45. Adrian Durham, Adam Bridge, and the former Sunderland defender Mickey Gray at St James's Park. Have we passed that with our insurers? I don't know.
Mickey's all right. He's very fair, is Mickey. I listened to him a lot recently, and he's been very fair for the tune, so we'll give him that.
Yeah, he got asked to go to one of the fan parts during the European Championship. He wasn't so keen on that invitation.
I bet not. What Rob is not keen on in this game is the fact that coming into it, his Premier League record against Van Gerwen was 3 wins for Cross, 10 for Van Gerwen. He's been very competitive against him in the past. They've actually met in the 2019 final, which was won 11-5 by MVG, but there was a point in that final right in the middle where Cross missed 1 dart at a double. If he'd hit that, it would have been a very different final. And if he takes the 106 that he's got left in his next throw, Cross, this could be his game to lose because he's on for a break.
He is. Van Gerwen though is handily placed on 81 despite being behind. He'll be hoping he'll get a shot at that. Can Cross tidy at 106 then? Single 20, so it'll be treble 18, which is his go-to treble. He can't find it though, so Van Gerwen breathes again. 81 then to hold throw and go 3-2 up.
Looks in good nick, Michael. Can he take the 81 out? Single 19. He leaves the bull with the last dart. It's not close. It's a single 19. He's a good centimetre and a half southwest of the target. And Cross with 47 to get this break. He's missed a single. He's hit a 10. So now, 37 left. Gets the single 5, but only just. So it's 1 dart at double 16. He's got to be aggressive. And he misses it on the outside. That is a huge chance missed.
Van Gerwen's left 31, so he's got to tidy that up. He hits the 15 for double 8, and he hits the double 8. And Van Gerwen holds throw, but Rob Cross will be ruined that. He made a right old mess of that 47.
Yeah, didn't he just? He goes for the single 15 on 47 and hits a single 10. And the key thing was that Van Gerwen needed a single 15. It was right in the middle of the single. Never neglect your singles. That's why this guy was world number 1 for 7 straight years between 2014 and 2021. And he hasn't been world number 1 since then.
No. Luke Humphries is the current world number 1. We'll see him in action against Gerwyn Price in our second game of the night. Nicole will be with you with Laura Turner for that one.
Cross is the better scorer in this game. He's the one getting to the halfway point of the leg quicker than Michael. He's got 2.63. On the throw, Van Gerwen is a little bit further behind on 3.02. I'll be really interested to see what Michael does next, Mark, because he's leaving more bogey numbers in his career now than he ever has. Does he start on the 20s here? Decides not to this time. This is the right thing to do. Last start in the treble one scuppers his attempt of leaving a finish. He has to settle for 2.21 with Cross better off by 95 points.
Yeah, 1-2-6 doesn't need to go the bull route because Van Gerwen's not on a finish. 80 scored. This time only just he hits the big number again. 14 to leave double 16. Van Gerwen, well, he's hitting and hoping here, but he leads 3-2 in a race to 6.
Another lacklustre single from Cross, who goes through more water on stage than any dart player that has maybe ever lived. 32 left, and this time Cross takes it with his first dart. It's 3-3 in the first game here in Exeter, and we're still on throw with Van Gerwen throwing first in leg number 7.
This is on a knife edge. But who will prevail? Who will be our first semi-finalist in Exeter? You're live on talkSPORT 2 and on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page. Mark Wilson and Paul Nicholson with the opening game of the night. Premier League Night 4. Who will join Luke Humphries, Luke Little and Gerwyn Price as our weekly winners.
I don't think there's any excuse for any player tonight for them to not be in shape. You've had plenty of weeks of the Pro Tour. You've had plenty of weeks of the Premier League. If you're feeling a little bit tired in week 4, then you may have a problem. But these guys should be in top nick. And I think when Peter Wright was here in 2017, averaging 119 and a half, he showed that when you come to Exeter, the traditional night before the UK Open, you should be ready by now.
Yeah, major ready. The self-styled FA Cup of Darts, of course, the UK Open, where quite literally anything can happen, and it has thrown up a few surprise winners. 1-4-2 for Van Gerwen. Well, he went for the bull route there, couldn't quite get it. Would have left double 16 having hit treble 20 with his opening dart.
Yeah, he'll be very satisfied with that visit. If Rob was on a finish, he might have gone for the treble 14 for tops, but in the back of his mind he was thinking score 102 and leave tops and take a 4-3 lead, which is exactly what he's about to do. But he misses tops low. Second dart just misses double 10 to the right, and the third dart is a lovely little deflection off the left-hand side of the barrel there for the man in green and black. Takes a 4-3 lead, looking like someone who was very strong on his own throw all of a sudden. Back comes Cross, starts with a 140 in leg 8.
Yeah, Cross is just going to make sure he holds throw here. 4-3, Van Gerwen 2 legs away, and crucially will have the throw in legs 9 and 11 should we get that far.
Well, this is the fascinating thing about where this game sits right now, because 7 and a bit legs in, we're now starting to look at the trends and what those trends could possibly be telling us. Van Gerwen has not lost his first game of any Premier League night this season so far. He's in charge of this one by a very fine margin. Cross is on that 3-game losing streak that you mentioned, Mark.
Yeah, he is, and in there, lost to Luke Littler. Having led 5-1, he lost 6-5, had darts to win that. But that's a nice visit from Cross, down to 1-3-2. Van Gerwen on 2-6-8.
Michael's not going to leave a finish. So Cross is very much a favourite to equalise at 4 legs apiece. He's got 132 and he will not entertain the bullseye. That 60's right in the middle. He gets another one. So he leaves double 6 for the biggest finish of the match. And that is picture worthy on that 1-3-2 out. He didn't need to take it, but he's shown everybody in Exeter he can do whatever he wants.
He would have loved to have taken that against the Van Gerwen throw. 2 treble visit for MVG, down 1-3-5 on his opening visit. 4-4 race to 6. It's in effect a best of 3 legs now.
I think this is one of the reasons why the PDC have stuck with this format. Because when you get nights like tonight, people in form, people maybe not in as much form as others, but when you get them in knockout format matches like this, it really does make the blood bubble a little bit.
Yeah, if it was the old format where you get a draw, this has got 6-all written all over it, has it? Because neither really has threatened the other's throw. I think there was just that one dart, wasn't there? In fact, 2 darts Cross has had against the throw, but not taken either of them.
Yeah, consequently, both of these players have actually had a draw in Exeter in their Premier League careers. Michael's had 2, Rob's had 1. His Exeter record is played 5, won 3. Michael van Gerwen's has played 13, won 8. So Michael likes Exeter a little bit more, but does he like this 1-3-2, trying to get Rob back for what he's just hit?
Well, again, he didn't have to go for it. He's left 52, make that 32. So he'll be back for double 16 and 5-4, and Cross on 2-2-6 is, well, quite frankly, nowhere near at the moment in this 9th leg.
That's curious from Michael, because a lot of the time recently he's been leaving tops when he's got a choice. He chose to leave 32 here. He's missed it low by a centimetre, and again, dart 3 is inside, giving Rob an outside squeak here. With 1-2-9, it would break Van Gerwen and give him a chance to win the match.
Rob Cross then, treble 19 the target. Oh no, Rob crosses it, big 7, and in doing so has cost himself any kind of shot this leg. Double 8 for Van Gerwen. Well, he would have at least been anticipating Cross getting a pop at the double there. Double 8 missed, but not at the 5th time. He gets the double and he's 1 leg away, leads 5-4.
Such an excellent dart from MVG. He moves right on the hockey by about an inch, and the adjustment on the board was so precise. But is it fair for me to say at this juncture, even though Van Gerwen's had 6 more darts at a double in this match, it feels as if Cross has missed the most vital chances?
Well, he's missed big numbers that have cost him shots at finishes, that have cost him legs. He'll be frustrated with that, Rob Cross. Treble 19 hit after a wayward first start. That's a great second out. Look, all he can do now is take it to a decider.
He can't win it in this leg, but he can keep the match alive to still have a chance. That's what this leg is all about. Michael van Gerwen still blowing on his hands. He's 5-4 up, just keep doing it. He can't leave a finish from 3-4-2, and Cross is troubleless. With 3 different singles there to leave 2-3-6, and all of a sudden Cross is vulnerable.
Well, he is, but Van Gerwen can't find a treble either. So it's 2-3-6 Cross, 2-8-4 Van Gerwen. Cross at the hockey now. Needs to win this leg to level up the match. Single 20 just underneath. Great second dart over the top into the treble. That is a great visit. 140 to leave 96.
Yeah, that last dart had a lot of body movement, but it was worth it. 96 is going to have to go, maybe. Van Gerwen's 140 leaves him on 1-4-4. To win the match by 6 legs to 4 if Cross does not take 96 out. This is with the throw. The first dart is right at the top of the 60. His favourite double on the board is double 18, and he's just found it. Talk about stones right there. Rob Cross with a 2-dart 96 to take us all the way in the first game of Exeter.
Fist bump between the two. Van Gerwen looking for a 4th successive Premier League semi-final. Well, Rob Cross staring at a 4th successive defeat. Who will prevail here? The numbers pointing in the way of Cross, and here he is looking for a max against the throw. It's 140, it's not bad.
It's not the most dramatic match, but these are the best kind of matches, because nobody's had a match dart until the last leg.
The door is open. Van Gerwen, trebleless, 3-4-9, Cross at the hockey, just 12 points behind. A look of resignation on the face of Mighty Mike. 80 scored Cross, can't find a second treble, would have wanted more.
Just because this is the first game of the night doesn't take away any of the importance, but whoever loses this match will be in Minehead before Exeter's even finished. And you do not want that to be your name on that ticket. Van Gerwen on 253 is now against the throw, but Cross, small 1 on 262. How's his switch? It's not bad, but it still does not leave him a finish. He's on 185.
It feels like he should be out of sight here, Rob Cross. Van Gerwen's had a shocker of a leg and he's still in it. 96 scored, so he is down to a finish 157. Cross here, can he put a huge dent in 185 and in doing so set up a match-winning opportunity? Huge dent. Well, that's 85 scored with 2, treble 20 to leave tops. Ooh, now then, treble 5.
Oh, this would be something. 157 for Van Gerwen to win 6-5. He's down in the 19s first and only gets a single, so the shot is off. But how low can he go? He gets a treble 20, then a treble 18 to leave himself well placed on double 12. And Cross now has 85 to break in the last leg to send Van Gerwen crashing out at the quarter-final stage.
Hasn't hit a double, single 19. Where's he going now? Went for treble 16. He's hit it, the single, bullseye for the match. Just short of the target, Rob Cross. He'll be frustrated, Van Gerwen for the match.
He left double 12, did Michael. He doesn't hit it. How's his double 6? How's his double 3? He's split it 3 times. There's not 1 percentage point of Van Gerwen's head that thought he was going to miss 3 doubles there. And now Cross is looking to cross his name off the losers list as he just gets the single 9.
You heard the click of the wire. 2 darts at double 8. It's now 1 at double 4. Both players have had a dart to win the match. But Rob Cross takes his second opportunity. Michael Van Gerwen cannot believe it. 3 darts to win the match. But he let those 3 darts slip through his fingers, and Rob Cross has been on a barren run in the Premier League. He's safely through to the semi-finals. He'll take on the winner of Gerwyn Price or Luke Humphries. Rob Cross, for large parts of that, Nico, played some very good darts, and in the end, he just about held his nerve.
Just about. But when Michael goes to Minehead in the next couple of hours, he's going to be thinking about double 12, double 6 and double 3. He didn't miss all 3 by much. But when you are a great like Michael is, someone who has not found his way going out at the quarter-final stage over the last 3 weeks, he'll be desperately disappointed, and I would not want to be his first opponent in Minehead tomorrow night, because somebody's going to get it.
Well, quite possibly. We'll find out that tomorrow night. Still to come this evening. Chris Dobey will take on Nathan Aspinall. Stephen Bunting, looking for a first win of the Premier League campaign this year, takes on Luke Little, who's already got a weekly win under his belt. Coming up next, though, to take on the winner of our first game, it's Gerwyn Price against Luke Humphries. What a tie. Nico and Laura Turner will take you through that one. But game 1 is in the books in Exeter, and Van Gerwen has fallen by the wayside. He's been beat by Rob Cross by 6 legs to 5. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. That's where NordVPN Threat Protection Pro steps up to the off-key. Think of it as your personal referee, keeping dodgy websites, malware and phishing scams from sneaking into your setup. It even blocks those pesky ads so you won't get distracted mid-leg. Go to nordvpn.com/darts VPN and get the 2 years plus 4 months 3 and a birthday deal. It's all happening. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Coming up next on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube page, it will be Gerwyn Price against Luke Humphries.